Shalom, shalom. Lord willing. Shalom, shalom. I just got to make sure the sound is clear before we start. What we gonna do? Yeah, let's just do this one. Shalom, shalom. Shalom, shalom. So yeah, I guess the sound is good. The sound is good. Okay, so first and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to the one true power, Yahawah, Ba'ashem, Yahawashi, Ba'ashem HaKakodash, Brakati Yahawah, Brakati Yahawashi, and double honors to the elder apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well through the Spirit. And a mighty shalom to the hopeful elect in the same Spirit, the one that they all continue in sound doctrine in the same Spirit. And shalom to the Akwath Yom. Salaki, shalom to the Akwath. I got a habit to keep doing that. To the sisters that's in this faith, Lord willing that y'all all continue to pursue your lot, being a loving and silent and virtuous wife. And Lord willing, the most have mercy on the other brothers and sisters that's not in the faith. You see the title of the lesson, No Nation Will Escape the Judgment of Yahawah Ba'ashem Yahawashi. No nation, not one, no nation will escape the judgment of Yahawashi. First speaking of the Israelites, right? The 2/3, and then the other nations starting with Esau on down. No nation will be able to escape the judgment of Yahawah Ba'ashem Yahawashi. Not one. So this is where you want to examine yourself to make sure that you are even showing any fruits of faith. You know, some people say they believe and there's no action to it, right? First the men and you women and even you children, right? I don't really believe. Are you showing it? So let's just deal with it. Lord willing, this is edifying before camp. This is Amos, the 3rd chapter, in verse 1 and 2. It says, hear this word that Yahawah have spoken against you, O children of Israel, against the whole family which I brought up from the land of Egypt, saying, you only have I known of all the families of the earth, therefore I will punish you for all your iniquities. So the Israelites is going to have it the worst, right? Because especially when we go into, let me go to this one, Jeremiah, the 30th chapter, right? The children of Israel is going to have it worse than any nation, right? Because the Lord has a deeper relationship with you. This Jeremiah 30:7, it says, alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it, right? All the 12 tribes, right? All Israel is going to be in this time, but whose trouble is it going to be? It's going to be the 2/3 out of the whole nation. Those that didn't agree to it, but of course, it's going to be a trial run leading to Jacob's trouble. The MOTB, famine of the word, Jacob trouble, is a trial run for the Salaki. Salaki. It's a trial run for the elect. But what did it say? But he shall be saved out of it. Only the elect, the 1/3, shall be saved out of it, right? And this is why you want to make your call and election sure, right? Israel is the chosen people, but that means accountability is higher. So the 2/3 who refuse to repent will not escape. They won't, right? Let's go to 2 Corinthians, I think the 4th chapter, right? I'm going to read verse 3 and 4 in the NLT. I'm going to read verse 3 and 4 in the NLT. All right. 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 3, it says in the NLT, if the good news we preach is hidden behind a veil, it is hidden only from people who are perishing. Those that are perishing are the 2/3. Those are the ones that's going to perish, right? This is why nothing outside this truth really matters. I could care less, right? Especially when it's close that door. Especially when it's like the camp time, or if I'm about to go do a video, if I'm doing a car video, if my mind is on a lesson, I'm sorry. My mind is not on anything else. Right? Now, if it is, that's my prerogative. But outside of that, I don't know woman, no man, no child. Don't tell me anything. Like I really can care less unless I'm giving you the attention. But this is the number one important thing, man. Getting your faith in order. Because if this gospel is hidden from you, you don't understand, you're not trying to understand, you most likely gonna perish. Right? Got all these people over here just enjoying themselves. It's shit going on in the world. Right? Everybody worried about a good time. You know what? I think that is Ecclesiastes, the 7th chapter, if I'm not mistaken. If it's not this one, is the 8th chapter. Oh, no, this is Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 2. It is better to go to the house of mourning than to go to the house of feasting, for that is the end of all men, and the living will lay it to his heart. Right? We're in the house of mourning. It's truth. He told Ezekiel and even John, yo, eat the roll. Right? And it's going to be bitter in your belly. The bitter is this tribulation, the suffering, the affliction that you have to go through. Right? It says sorrow is better than laughter, for by the sadness of the countenance of the heart is made better. The heart of the wise is in the house of mourning, but the heart of fools is in the house of mirth. Right? There's a lot of men and women that just worried about a good time. Oh, I can't wait to go do this. They boast, like, it's not even boast. They get more excited on having a good time. In the NLT, a wise person think a lot about death, while a fool thinks only about having a good time. Right? Most people, they got, oh man, I can't wait to go do this. Oh man, we're gonna have a good time when we go do this. Most people have, it's like the excitement, the thrill, the anticipation that you have to go do something. Oh man, we about to go to D Lake. And it's good because you're not doing nothing unrighteous, but just sit and think. If you got that same excitement to go have a good time, where is your excitement when you hear the word? Like when the brother Zion from the GMS Niagara Falls Buffalo Camp. So like, y'all gotta close this refrigerator. So like I said, like the brother Zion is doing a sit down, and I know multiple brothers do it in different states. The excitement when brothers is getting ready to link up, like when me and my brothers, we know we about to go to camp. It's the best excitement out of my whole week. The best excitement because I'm with brothers that I labor with. These is the men of the Lord, right? Blessed is the Lord say, happy is the feet is him that teach the gospel. How much more us brothers? When we hanging around our brothers, we teaching with our brothers, we chopping bread, we eating, we drinking wine with each other, right? That excitement out trumps anything because you're next to somebody that fears the Lord. Every time we get done doing camp, we'll go eat food and we still talking about the Lord. We speaking about a chapter, we speaking about a prophecy, we speaking about what's going on. Anything outside my brother, the conversations don't even really go to the Lord. Now, sometimes, yes, some of my household, sometimes here and there, but the feedback, the excitement of speaking about the Lord is not a continuous thing, right? This is why if you got faith in this thing, right, you don't want to be in a house of feasting, a house of mirth, which is a good time. I don't want to have that spirit, right? A good time, guess what? That's private, that's solo. It happens, it happens. If it happens, it happens. But outside that, my number one thought is Yahawah Hashem Yahawashi, right? Let's get Ezekiel, the 9th chapter. And Lord willing, I don't, make this too long for you guys. All right, we got camp. This is Ezekiel chapter 9 in verse 4 to 6. It says, and it came to pass while they were slacking. No, I'm jumping ahead. This is Ezekiel 9 and 4. It says, and Yahawah said unto him, go through the midst of the city and through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the forehead of the men that sigh and cry for the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. Now, this is in a time where Ezekiel is the first captive in the hands of, Nebuchadnezzar in Babylon under Jehoiachin, right, who was a king of Israel, right? When you read from Ezekiel 1 all the way to this chapter, you'll understand the estate, but it's really towards Israel. But in the time we in right now, you use this same thought, like in the midst of the city through Jerusalem, which is it's the people before the place, the Israelites, set a mark upon the forehead of the men that sigh and cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. So we're crying for the abomination that's happening in the world, but very importantly, what's happening in America. So who's sighing and crying? First, the men, it's the real men of this faith teaching his word. The other men that might not be teaching, but they're sighing and crying is some of you women, right? The little things that you speaking about, right, is a mark upon you. Right, let's look at this mark. It's really a Yahawah, right? This is not the same mark in Revelations 13, Revelations 20. This is a Hebrew word, right? Let me get it real quick. Right, it's Yahawah. H8420, right? It's really Yahawah, right? So the biblical usage is a desired mark, a mark as a sign of exemption from judgment, right? Strong's definition, a signature, right? What is symbolic for the signature? I think that is Revelations, the 14th chapter. We're going to come back to this. Revelation, the 14th chapter, I believe. We're going to come back to Ezekiel, the 9th chapter. But those that sigh and cry is going to get the Yahawah. No other nation. First, we dealing with the Israelites. Revelations 14:1, it says, and I looked, and lo, a lamb stood on the Mount Zion, and with him 144,000 having his father's name written in their foreheads. That's the signature, the name of the Father and the Son, right? Through the Spirit, the elect, they already got it. It's embedded in them, right? Because it says in Sirach, the 17th chapter, verse 10, the elect praise my holy name, right? So we see the Yahawah in verse 4. Let's go to verse 5. Ezekiel 9 and 5. It says, and to the others he said in my hearing, go ye after him through the city and smite. Let not your eye spare, neither have ye pity. Who's the others? If we speak about Israel, these are the 2/3, right? Those that are not sighing and crying, that's cleaving to this place, you're going to be cut off. This is why I want to mortify the things of the flesh. I don't want to show that that I enjoy myself on this side. Like, oh man, I don't want this kingdom to fall. No, I really do. Right? Literally do. Right? Slay utterly old and young, both maid and little children and women. The Lord not sparing none of you. Oh, look at the little baby. If that child wasn't taught this word, it's gone. Right? There's a lot of women birthing monstrous children. If the parent didn't believe, the child is gone. Right? And hey, if some of you children is monsters, you're gone. But hey, it's all by Yahawah Shema Shai. If the father is moving in a certain way and those of his household, most likely they're going to be saved, regardless if you go in the spirit world before Yahawashi come, which I had this little small vision, but I'm not going to share that with you. But, if some of your family members can already be in the spirit world before all hell break loose. You in this faith, what is it, 2 Timothy 4? Or is it 1 Timothy 4? You can save yourself and those that hear. But come not near any man upon whom is the mark. So whoever got the Tawah, right, they're not going to be slain and begin at my sanctuary, right, which is this truth, this ministry, this church. Then they began at the ancient men which were before the house, right? So that mark is the Thawah, Thawah, Thawah of exemption is only for the elect. The rest of Israel, even young and old, will be judged without mercy. So remember, Ezekiel 9 and 4, that mark is only for the elect. Verse 5 and 9, these is for the 2/3, those that did not get the Thawah. So this is why it's important to teach your children the name of the Father, right? To teach them daily lessons. If they don't care about those lessons, put the fear in them, right? Because if you don't care, man, I'm gonna tell, hey, look, what if you wasn't in my house? What if you was with your cousin? What if you was with your other mom or your grandmother, and all hell break loose? And the spirit is not on me to go get you and look for you. You better hope that you're around those that believe, because those that believe is getting the Thawah. Literally. Again, what's the title of the lesson? No nation will escape the judgment of Yahawah or Yahawashi. The 2/3 is part of that nation, right? The 2/3 is a part of Israel. Then you have the other nation. The other nations can never get the Thawah, right? We're still dealing with the 2/3. We're still dealing with Israel. So let's get this. Because if you are an Israelite, it's very important for you to worry about you first, right? So, Salaki. Zechariah, the 13th chapter. We're going to think about us first before we even come close to the other nations, right? This is Zechariah chapter 13 and verse 8 and 9. He says, and it shall come to pass that in all the land, saith Yahawah, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the 3rd part shall be left therein, right? The 2/3, because this is a land, is really towards Babylon the Great, America. 2/3, which is 66.6% in the United States, will be destroyed. And I will bring the 3rd part through the fire, which is the elect. It will refine them as silver is refined, and will try them as gold is tried. You're going to be tried during famine of the word, the MOTB, and Jacob's trouble, right? Everything you've been doing right now while you have open season is daytime. It's open season to seek the Lord Yahawah Shem Yahawashi. Because when night come, where this truth is not everywhere, it's going to be hidden. The famine of the word is going to come, right? That's going to show what you really in this thing. They shall call on my name, and I will hear them. I will say, it is my people, and they shall say, Yahawah is my power. Are you calling a name now? Because when shit hit the fan, that's going to really show, is you serious about the name of Yahawashi Shem Yahawashi? Is you serious about him, right? Because a lot of your forefathers, even David, when he was getting pursued by Saul, he was always calling on the Lord. When he committed that sin of adultery, he was calling on the Lord, right? So even in trouble, the elect is calling on the Lord. So the prophecy is absolute or obsolete. The 2/3 cannot escape death or destruction. Only the remnant which is the elect, will be refined, right? Everybody in Israel will not be refined. So whatever you're doing now, make sure you're pushing to be refined, right? So this is Jeremiah 25, verse 29. Jeremiah chapter 25, verse 29. And it's what it reads. For lo, I begin to bring evil on the city which is called by my name, which is Yasharallah, the 12 tribes of Israel. This is why we gonna get hit first. We're already hit right now. And should ye be utterly unpunished, ye shall not be unpunished. For I will call for a sword upon all the inhabitants of the earth, saith Yahawah of hosts, right? So Israel as a nation is not going to go unpunished. But who's going to be refined and redeemed from that punishment, right? Or from that suffering or that tribulation, where everybody else ain't going to be able to eat, but the others will. It's going to be the elect, right? The 2/3 got a rude awakening. This is why if you have fear of the Lord, you want to work hard that you not. I don't know if I'm the elect, but I'm about to work hard. I'm going to continue to be a student. I'm going to continue to do and speak as a true prophet. I'm going to try to stay in order to the best of my ability. I'm going to discipline and order my house. Because if a man can't order his house, put it in line, guess what? He can't rule or lead the Yahawashi church, right? I'm determined for this. I'm not about to let a child, a woman, look, I can't even let myself get in the way of getting that, you know? And this is a thing every day you want to do. Just be, hey, a week come pass, a month, another year come pass. Oh, the Lord take it too long. I want to take a break. No, our real break is when Yahawashi return, right? The work of the Lord is never done. Even when the feminine word comes, you go still have to encourage and comfort those that surround you because we're still human. Women, oh man, oh, this is crazy, crying, scared. The kids are scared, right? Just like when my little man heard the little prank of a nuke. I did this video on people were being warned that a nuke was coming to the United States. The family was tripping. He ran in the room scared, like, oh man, is it happening? But the first thing you should think about when you know this is happening, calling on Yahawashi, right? Literally. So again, the judgment starts with Israel and extends outward. The 2/3 will face it head on, right? The Lord is dealing with us first, right? So let's go back to that Amos, the 3rd chapter, right? So judgment is happening with us first. You see black on black crime, the Latinos, eventually the Southern Northern Kingdom gonna be battling each other. You see so-called Eve, the Southern woman, right? She's showing herself as being a whore even more. Some of them getting drove over. Some of them is getting unalived. You got some women, this one girl unalived, another dude's baby mother. It's about to get real. The love of many is about to wax cold. Amos 3:2. You only have I known of all the families of the earth. Therefore, I will punish you for all your iniquities. Who's going to get punished more on this side? The 2/3. The elect is going to get refined. They're going to go through times where you don't got food, but then your faith is going to determine if you like there's no food for like 2 days and you still calling the Lord out of nowhere. It's a fish. You come across, you see a fishing rod and you just throw it in the water. I'm just using an example, and you will it up and you got a live fish right there. Now your whole family about to eat that delicious fish that got fins and scale, and it's all because of Yahawashi. Or you walking and fleeing. Now you want to go get rest, and you walk into an abandoned house, and it look abandoned. You can close the doors, lock the doors, close the windows, but you go in the refrigerator's still working, and there's food in there. The elect is going to, like, man, I'm telling you, some amazing things is going to happen. It might not happen right away. It might not happen when you want it, but the elect is going to get by. But they're going to be tried too. You're not living in your house. You can be removed out of your house. You're going to be fleeing from trouble, but it's still the Lord is going to be providing in some type of way, man. Right? So let's go into the nations. The nations will not be able to escape. So let's go to this. I just did a lesson, 2 videos on this chapter, Isaiah, the 34th chapter, verse 1 and 2. Right? It's Isaiah 34, 1 and 2. It says, come near, ye nations, to hear, and hearken, ye people. Let the earth hear, and all that is therein, the world and all things that come forth of it. For the indignation of Yahawah is upon all nations. Right? The anger. That's why when the 2/3 get destroyed, that's the anger of the Lord. And his fury upon all their armies. He have utterly destroyed them. He have delivered them to the slaughter. Right? The heathens cannot hide from Yahweh's fury. All nations will be brought into judgment. All nations. Don't you know some of the Israelite jakes are going to be in this war too? Right? I just watched a video before we even did this on TikTok of a brother, I guess, doing military training. They skydiving. Not even skydiving, they're just jumping from the planes, right? Like they normally do for a mission, right? And he's doing that, you know. Yeah, it's about to get crazy. And this why, the spirit been on brothers to get on the terrorists that's coming, right? I want to go into Yahawashi. I want to go into the apostles. Maybe I might have to do that later on. But right now, it's just coming to read through. I was reading Amos, the 9th chapter, and the title of the chapter from verse 1 to 10 was going into no escape from the Most High's judgment. And I'm like, dang, man, no nation, not one nation, no nation will escape the judgment of Yahawah Ba'ashem Yahawashi, the 2/3, the Edomites. And then right after that judgment, when we beamed up and we come back down, then our kingdom gonna start, and the other nations are gonna go into servitude. So they're gonna have a double whammy: the president, the ignorant nation, and then the reserve of the nations that didn't get nuked and did not get destroyed. They're gonna be hiding because of the nukes and how the earth is gonna be shaken. We're gonna come down, and we're gonna look like we're gonna take over the whole earth. Then they're gonna come in a realization like, dang, I thought we was gonna restart. China think that they're gonna be the next kingdom to rule. It's gonna be amazing, right? Let's go to Obadiah. Obadiah 1:15. Obadiah 1:15, it says, "For the day of Yahawah is near upon all the heathen, as thou hast done. It shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thy head." So all the nations, right? Their reward is turning on their head. All the nations, man. You got to reap what you sow, right? Let me get this other classic in Zechariah 2:8. All the nations, whatever you sowed in this earth, you're going to reap that benefit. Right? This is Zechariah chapter 2, verse 8. "For thus saith Yahawah of hosts, after the glory have he sent me unto the nations which spoiled you. For he that toucheth you toucheth the apple of my eye." We're the apple of the Lord's eye. Come on, man. Right? We his favorite. Right? So every nation that oppressed Israel will drink of that cup. Right? Babylon is a golden cup in the hands of the Lord. And all the nations is under them. Oh, it's amazing. It's about to go down. Right? Let's get Jeremiah. Oh man, and it's scary at the same time. Because when this thing crack off, you know, because I'm still in the flesh, you still gonna have that human fear, like, oh, but then if you really are the faith, you're gonna have that spiritual fear, because you know this is the wrath of the Lord. That's the whole point. When we go into the scriptures, this is really the wrath. Salaki, this is definitely the wrath of Yahawah Shem Yahawashi. The prophecies, the parables, the dark saying, this is all of the Lord, right? So if you got a problem with what's coming out, this is all of Yahawah Shem Yahawashi. We believe over here. And the Lord is so powerful. He gave you the scriptures so that you can know what he's going to do. Some people say, why you got to read a book? You don't need a book. So then if you don't need no book, you don't know what's coming. So if the nukes was, if we don't read no book, can anybody out from the Bible, how can you say before nukes even came and prophesied nukes was coming? If Jacob trouble do come, how can you prophesy that's Jacob trouble? If all destruction, if all missiles drop, somebody's going to be saved. How they going to be saved if I'm not rich? How I'm going to hide myself and my family if, they so-called make it, if we make it? How they going to be saved from this nuke? Not your basement. So how can you how can you speak on people getting delivered? The Lord put these scriptures in a book. And oh no, we don't need to read, but you got a high school education, elementary education. When you went to your job, you read that application. Everybody take away because you got to read the Bible. You got to go to a book, but you got to read a paper to get a job. To go to school to get a diploma, you got to read all these different textbooks. Are you freaking kidding me? So Yahawah Shem Yahawashi knew the signs of the time throughout all our generations. Even when we were in power, some of your kids had scholars, tutors to teach them. And y'all try to say, oh, no, we ain't got to learn. We ain't got to read or do none of these things. But when it comes to a job, when it comes to a business, when it comes to a music contract, that's the only time you got to read. You freaking bugged out. Y'all don't believe. So this Jeremiah, the 25th chapter, verse 31 to 33, it says, "A noise shall come even to the ends of the earth. For Yahawah have a controversy with the nations. He will plead with all flesh. He will give them that are wicked to the sword, saith Yahawah." And that sword goes into the war, the judgment, and the nuclear destruction, saith Yahawah. Thus saith Yahawah of hosts, behold, evil shall go forth from nation to nation, and great whirlwinds shall be raised up from the coast of the earth. And the slain of Yahawah shall be at that day from one end of the earth even unto the other end of the earth. They shall not be lamented, neither gathered nor buried. They shall be dung upon the ground, right? It's going to be so many bodies on the ground. That's why the first job that Esau is going to do in the kingdom is collecting the dead bodies, right? It's going to be a crazy sacrifice when the Lord returns, right? Eventually, right now, I watched another video, I think on TikTok, where they were speaking about freedom of speech. Eventually, they're going to take that, and that's going to fall into us teaching on the highways and byways. In a minute, when America under Israel, when they try to make one religion, one thought, you're gonna have to be secretive when it comes to this word. Revelations 14:10, verse 2:11. It says, "The same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation." This is his perfect anger. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone. That's coming from the ICBM missiles, in the presence of the holy angels, in the presence of the Lamb. And the smoke of their torment ascended up forever and ever for appointed time, and they have no rest day nor night, who worship the beast in the image, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name. Now, you got to think, if they're not receiving rest day or night, Jacob's trouble, man. You're going to be looking over your shoulders, man. This is why y'all got to know Jacob's trouble is more severe than what you know. This is why you men and you women, especially you women, you better, oh man, I in the kingdom, I can't wait to be this. That's fan and dandy. I want to be this in the kingdom too. But why? Things is in motion. The Lord is watching. Is you even applying anything that you learned in your life to be a better woman in this faith, to be a better man in this faith? You're supposed to do this every freaking day. You know, some of us, like some brothers in the world, I mean, we even say this in the truth. When you give a woman give her that Oscar, she start coming to her damn senses. Let the next day go. Now her hormones is down. Now she go act like somebody else. Hey, a lot of y'all got spirits on y'all, man. Even you men. You got brothers over here leaving the faith because I gotta get my house in order. That's the whole point about being in the truth now. Getting your house in order now. Get yourself in order now. Right? What it's saying, Wisdom of Solomon 6, right? We gotta love discipline. Discipline comes from Yahawashi. This is why the scriptures say, mortify the things of the flesh, mortify, right? You got to put things of this world or things of the flesh that you're dealing with, put them to death, right? Let me see if it give me a few precepts on it. We got Romans 8:13. For if ye live after the flesh, ye shall die. But if ye through the spirit do mortify the deeds of the body, ye shall live. Mortify means put to death. Every day, a man and a woman, even the children, mortify the things of the flesh, things that you're dealing with, things that lead into sin or unrighteousness, right? Things that pertain to your faith, things that's holding your faith back, right? Mortify those things of the flesh because you want to grow. Like, I want to get in the kingdom. The kingdom is promised, right? But on this side, we have to work for the Lord. This is why Proverbs 6:9, if y'all watch that should be a lesson that, a lot of us rewatch over and over again, right? Studying the ants, because an ant don't need a king or a ruler to tell it to work. It naturally does it, naturally programmed. Why is the Lord telling us through Solomon to study the ant, right? The Lord is even letting us know that through his creations, you can learn, right? I know some of you women and you men, oh man, I was working these hours, I'm tired, and then now when you free, you just catching up on your TV shows, your movies. You ain't even reading, ain't asking questions. You ain't having that discernment to watch and learn what the prophets is teaching. Just because you know the name of the Lord, you're an Israelite, you think that's it. You're supposed to be learning. I'm not talking about, for some of you sisters, I'm not talking about you being a master teacher where you gain every precept so you can break it down. No, because you still want to master being a wife, to being a mother. You want to believe by hearing this word, by like, dang, oh man, that's what happened. You want to be able to believe. right? And the more that you hear these lessons, it doesn't matter what is going into, especially if it's a lesson going towards the women itself. You want to mortify yourself on that, because the ratio of death that's going to happen on this side, even though it's going to be more women than men that get saved, right? To, bring forth those that died, because, there's more women than men just regardless. But even in the wicked side, it's going to be more, the total of death is going to be more women than men. Women outnumber us. So it's going to be more women. That's why, especially you single sisters, mortify the things of the flesh. Colossians 3:5, mortify therefore your members which are upon the earth: fornication, uncleanness, inordinate affection, evil consumption, covetousness, which is idolatry. Mortify as much as you can. Put to death as much as you can. Anything you're having a problem with, if you got a problem with bipolar, I'm going to be honest, you got a damn spirit on you. Any man that's dealing with bipolar, a woman, you have a damn spirit on you. Freaking bipolar, right? You having mood swings, right? Your thoughts is getting the best of you. It's a spirit messing with you. And some of y'all just be saying, oh, I got a spirit dealing with me, I'm gonna just separate myself. That's cool and dandy. But the number one way to deal with that is getting into the word. Watch a lesson. Get a lesson that's gonna convict you, or get a lesson that makes you learn. This is how you know if that spirit leaving you. You watching the lesson, but your mind is somewhere else. You watching the lesson and you scrolling on your phone. You're not there. You're not learning shit. You ain't even watching the lesson. The lesson watching you. Just like this lesson that we doing now. Whoever watches it now and watches it later, are you putting the things aside that's around you, distracting you, and putting your focus on it? If you can't focus on it now, the spirit, the Lord is watching it all. When you got downtime, is you going to actually go back and watch that? Some people will be like, oh, I couldn't watch the lesson, right? Then get done, whatever the heck they doing. They got free time, and guess what? They about to go enjoy themselves and have fun and this and that, but did not go watch the lesson. Today is the day. It's not just only the Shabbat, right? This is the same day that all the men of the Lord go out and teach the word, right? This is more of a spiritual day, especially in any time it is, but this is even more of a special, a spiritual day. This is Matthew, the 18th chapter, in verse 20, which is on my front door. Matthew 18 in verse 20. It says, for where 2 or 3 are gathered together in my name, there I am in the midst of them. Yahawah by Hashem Yahawashi got power. You know how many brothers is teaching truly in the name of Yahawah by Hashem Yahawashi? That means he's here, there, everywhere. He's multiplying his presence in the midst of wherever the men of the Lord is. That's why this is the most important. When you know all the men of the Lord is teaching on this day, you should be knowing the Lord is visiting the earth. You should be like, you know what? When I get done with doing this, if you are working, or if you're not, right? Or maybe you busy. Maybe you the baby is sick. Maybe you in the hospital. Maybe whatever it can be. And you might be too occupied to really focus on any lesson. When you get downtime before you play the game, brother, before you go do whatever you about to go do, says get your hair braided, whatever you about to do, make time for Yahawah by Hashem Yahawashi so you can soak this thing in, right? Because if we worry about the things we want to do more than Yahawah by Hashem Yahawashi, that shows, do you really believe? Did that show that you really care? Some people are faking the funk. The outward, in one moment they show you, oh man, I really care. But as soon as they get alone, they doing them, or when you're not around, or when you can't see, it's a whole nother ball game. Oh, he not around. You know what? I ain't gotta, I'm about to just do me, Kwame Asharella. No, guess what? Let's go to, I can't go to it on this because I don't want the screen to freeze. So I'm gonna do it on my side. I'm going to Sirach. This is Sirach, Ecclesiasticus, chapter. Let me just put my face on the screen just so you can know I'm reading it. This is Sirach, Ecclesiasticus, chapter 42 and verse 18 to 21. It says, he seeketh out the deep in the heart and considereth their crafty devices. For Yahawah Shem Yahawashi knoweth all that may be known, and he beholdeth the signs of the world. He declareth the things that are past, and for to come. He revealeth the steps of hidden things. No thought escapeth him, neither any word is hidden from him. So whatever you're thinking, whatever you're doing, cannot be hidden from Yahawah Ba'ashem Yahawashi. He knows what you're doing. He knows what you want to do. He knows what you're about to do tomorrow, the next day, the next week, or next month, right? Evaluate yourself. The brother Yarmayan said, check yourself before you wreck yourself. Sam did a video and said, buckle up, right? You should be embracing for impact. This should be every day, every day. We already started with Amos, the 3rd chapter. So if we're reading it, imagine how it's going to be face to face, head on. Half of us never seen bodies just laying on the ground. Half of us never just seen blood out of nowhere. Your children, you women, some of you men, you haven't seen it. You know, you haven't just came out and just seen it. You've seen it on the video. You never seen an airplane just come down and crash. You haven't seen it, right? The love of many wise cold people breaking into people's houses, people that you know and love. You see a whole demon in them. They ready to fight you. They see that you got bread, you got food. They trying to have a conversation and say, hey, let me come in your house. And they talking to you and they looking in your kitchen. Then they walk in and opening up your refrigerator. You like, what the heck? You ain't never seen that. Right now, you should be increasing your faith, your measure in this thing. So let's get back to it. Right? So now let's deal with these last points. This is Isaiah 10 and verse 22. Right? The elect are the elect will be the only one to escape. So this is Isaiah chapter 10. Isaiah chapter 10 and verse 22. It says, for though thy people Israel be as the sand of the sea, yet a remnant of them shall return. And the consumption decree shall overflow with righteousness. The remnant, right, of course, is the elect, right? The 144,000 is already marked, sealed, because these is the prophets, these are the men of the Lord. But the rest of those elect is the 1/3, the great multitude, man, right? Yo, and we got to give praise to Yahawah Shem Shai that he have given us the blueprint. Because what if you didn't have it? What if you're like, wait, is anybody going to be saved? Oh, what about them? What about them? Yo, the Lord gave you the blueprint, right, through Yahawashi. What's going to happen, right? This is Matthew, the 24th chapter, verse 22. Matthew 24, verse 22. And except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. You got to sit back and think. Haven't the days been shorter? Haven't months went past? Haven't years? 2020 was just a minute ago. The sea biscuit was just here. Time is going by short. This is not, oh, let me catch up on my time. Let me go catch up on my fun. Then that means you don't got your mind stayed on the Lord, man. Niggas is worried about mirth, a good time, enjoyment, gladness. But they not worried about the tear of the Lord. They not worried. What if I'm not of the elect? Right? So to summarize everything we went into, the 2/3 of Israel, just like the heathen, are set to perish. Only the chosen remnant will escape through Yahawashi's mercy. And of course, you have other remnant nations. They're going to be in hiding, especially the elites in bunkers and caves, right? But it's all about the first resurrection, those that get beamed up into the bosom of the Lord, right? So the 2/3, they will not escape the judgment. All nations will face the wrath of Yahawah Shem Yahawashi, but not all nations are going to be destroyed. Not everybody in their nation is going to always be a remnant of those nations that's preserved, because when we start our kingdom, we're going to need servants. Where are they going to come from? Right? That goes into, let me get that, Jeremiah 16, verse 16. Jeremiah chapter 16, verse 16. And this is what it reads. It says, behold, I will send for many fishers, saith Yahawah, and they shall fish them. And after will I send for many hunters, and they shall hunt them from every mountain and from every hill and out of the holes of the rocks. Through the Spirit, you have to know in the end times, who were the fishers? When, because I know Genesis, they teach that these is Babylon, but where is the verse where the Lord called the Babylonians fishers? Right? But we know in the New Testament, he told the disciples, or really Peter and them, that I will make you fishers of men. So when the Lord put that spirit on us, we're going to become hunters, right? And who are we going to hunt? Them that are in every mountain, that are in the clefts of the rocks, which you read in Isaiah the 2nd chapter, right? So no one can escape except the elect. What we already read in Isaiah 10 and 22, Isaiah 10 and 22, Matthew 24, verse 22, but I think it's another one. I think it's another verse we want to get out of that. I think it is another verse we want to get out of that. Verse 22, yeah, it's the elect. And when you drop down to verse 30, wait, is this it? Yeah. So verse 30, it says, and then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, and then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. And he shall send his angels with the great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect, right? The elect is the election, those that were selected. The elect is the best of his kind or the best of his class from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other, right? And that's beautiful. You should aim to be part of that number, right? So Yahawah's judgment is universal, precise, and unavoidable. So like even those that's in a bunker, they can't hide because the Lord already put in the scriptures that we're going to become hunters and we're going to be looking for them in the rocks, in the caves. You know, even when you go, if Genesis saying that that's Babylon looking for Israel, in the verse, Babylon came to Jerusalem. You had Zedekiah that was fleeing another way, but where is it plain saying that the Israelites were in mountains? They was in the clefts of the rocks. No, that's going into these elites in this time, which is, just like when Job said, the bases of men, they hide in the clefts of the rocks, which is really the Edomites. But all the nations that got power is doing these things, So again, it's inevitable. No nation will be able to escape the judgment of Yahawah Shem Yahawashi. So Lord willing, is edifying. Lord willing, is encouraging. Lord willing, it's making you think, because the shit that's going on, you should be trying your best to be one of those that actually escape by being the elect. So we want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahawah, Ba'ashem, Yahawashi, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash, Brakati Yahawah, Brakati Yahawashi. Double honors to the elder apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well through the Spirit. And a mighty shalom to the hopeful elect in the same spirit and sound doctrine, Lord willing, that they all continue to endure and be sincere. And shalom to the Aqua, the believers of this faith and this truth, which is the sisters. Lord willing, you continue to pursue your lot, which is being a loving and silent and virtuous wife. And Lord willing, Yahawah Shemashai, have mercy on the other brothers and sisters that's not in the faith. So with that, shalom, shalom, abba, abba.